Rewards. It's kind of a selfish thing when you think about it. You wait for other people to give you something, give you accolades, give you representation, acknowledgement, whatever it may be. But have you considered giving yourself rewards for the hard work that you do, no matter how small? That's what we're going to be talking about today. My name is Garza-Keith. I'm a Chicana artist, activist in Arica, and I am here to help you. Also, I must say these earrings are super fabulous. They're made by Medicine Mama Kia. I'll leave the caption for how to contact her. She makes amazing stuff. She is a womb specialist. She works with lingam as well. So she does yoni steams, lingam steams, and can help people work through sexual trauma. She's phenomenal. Anyway, I will have to be looking down at my notes. So I have my fabulous notebook here. So if you see me looking down, that's all I'm doing. So when we go through a lot of grief, turmoil, recovery, whether from be from PTSD, trauma, anxiety, maybe a loss of a loved one, grief, a diagnosis or an injury, there can be a lot of shame around that. And so accepting this space and understanding that like, ooh, this hurts right now. It hurts really bad, but it won't feel like this forever, is very, very hard work. So how does this tie into rewards? Well, a lot of these things come with a lot of shame. We try to hide our grief. Like, I'm fine. It's okay, I got it. Got it under control. Or if there's a diagnosis, PTSD or trauma, maybe even addiction recovery, there's a lot of this shame, like, oh, I can still do what I used to be able to do. This wound isn't inhibiting me at all. I'm fine. But there's this internal dialogue of like guilt, like, why can't I do what I used to be able to do? Why can't I move the way I used to move? Why can't I trust the way I used to trust, love the way I used to love, dance the way I used to dance, etc., whatever this is for you? It's because there's an active path to acceptance, a progression to acceptance. Wherever you are on this threshold, think about that light at the end of the tunnel. For some people, it might be healing that injury, healing that trauma, maybe overcoming those addictions, or just reconciling with it. Reconciling with it. My word's a little tricky right now. And unfortunately, with grief, a fresh diagnosis, sometimes the end goal, the reward at the end, is just that acceptance. So when you're looking at this light at the end of the tunnel, returning to being able to love the way you used to love, dance the way you used to dance, be in harmony, the way you used to be in harmony, whatever that looked like for you, those are rewards for the hard work that you are processing, the emotional turmoil that you're working through right now. That is what you're moving to. That is the end goal, the reward. So how do we make this quantifiable? Well, we can't really make emotional healing, emotional turmoil quantifiable. The trajectory of emotional healing is entirely on its own path. All we can do is buckle in and accept that we're taking the ride the way that we need to and acknowledging it, becoming friends with these emotions that we're having, so that way we can begin to let them go. We can accept that they're in the car with us, but no, they're not allowed to drive. Yes, they need to put their seatbelt on. They are not allowed in your space when you are not welcoming them. You can stop and talk, maybe have a little like red light kiss or something like that. Like, oh, wow, okay, I'm in this moment with you. This is really profound. This feels really special. Light turns green and carry on to the best of your ability. So let's do a little activity around this. Something that'll kind of help break down what these goals are, what these rewards are. Begin to think about the path that you're on with your grief, your addiction, your PTSD, whatever you are dealing with right now. What does the light at the end of the tunnel look like? Write it down. Write it down in I statements. I am loving. I am accepting. I can move without fear. I am comfortable. I am loved deeply. I can laugh with good people. Whatever this looks like for you, turn it into something you can read, something you can hold, something you can touch. Sit with it as long as you need to. You can even pause this video and come back. This is hard work. I'm feeling some tears well, even as I'm going through this, because I have my own batch of things that I'm working on as well. This is very, very intense. So be patient with yourself as much as you can be. So look at this goal, this light at the end of the tunnel. What would it take to get to this point? Let's use the example of a diagnosis for right now. So you get this diagnosis, you know that you will never be able to do what you once were able to do before. How do we reach this state of acceptance, this state of comfortability? So let's say your word is, I am comfortable. I can laugh with good people, regardless of where you're at right now. Sorry, I got a cat fur on my chin. Regardless of where you are, you're allowed to have community with you, even if you can't go anymore. You can't join the festivities. Maybe accessing certain environments is more difficult than what it used to be. So finding that acceptance, finding that comfortability. Okay, so what does that look like? How can I ask for these needs to be met? How can I step into this vulnerability so I can be comfortable and I can trust that when I ask for something, it might be received the way that I need it to be received? Okay. Start with your own world. Are you willing to trust that you can be safe in this environment? Are you willing to trust that people can take care of you the way that you need to be cared for? Can you accept the help? Even just the littlest bit. Like, wow, I can't open this jar anymore. The arthritis or whatever it is, like, I can't do this anymore. Can you please open this jar for me? Okay. Very simple. There's obviously escalations to this, whatever it looks like. That's a huge step. Allowing someone to open that jar for you. That is a step on this goal to reaching the light at the end of the tunnel. So how do we celebrate those moments? Maybe it can be just simply by being present with that person. It's like, wow, that was actually really scary for me. That's the first time that I asked someone to help me with something like that. I've been struggling with this for so long. It feels really good to have you by my side and know that you can take care of me this way. Maybe up the ante a little bit. You see those cookies on the counter over there? I can't get to those right now. Can you bring me a cookie? Let's enjoy a cookie together, celebrate this moment. Or hug. Or just release. Sometimes just acknowledging that you felt that way can be enough of a celebration. If you want it to be sacred, you want it to be private, you just pause. Know that it's yours. You can even use your beads if you have your beads. So, got the TengDios beads right here. They're a little close right now. So, I asked for help. I celebrated asking for help. I trusted asking for help. I was met with compassion. I am loved. I am appreciated. I am deserving. Insert whatever words you want here. So you can look back at the end of the day and be like, wow, that's how many times that I worked towards this light at the end of the tunnel, this thing that is seemingly so intangible. Look at all you did. Holy crap, that's amazing. So let's say you really can't do much on your own, or being alone is really, really scary. You feel like you need to have someone to keep you accountable. So calling up a friend and being like, hey, this is what I'm working on right now. I really need some help being accountable to this. Or I just want you to check in with me more than you usually would. It's an accountability buddy, if you've ever heard that term before. Finding someone in your community that you can trust, or multiple people in your community that you can trust to have you be held accountable in the ways that you need to. Like, I'm going to this party tonight. Let's shift to addiction recovery, okay? I'm going to this party tonight. I haven't told half of them that I'm sober now. This is really scary. What if I'm tempted? What if I have a craving? What if I give in? Okay. You don't have to be alone in that. It is really hard to do what you're doing on your own to begin with, but then especially when you're in an environment where there could be a lot of peer pressure or old habits coming back, just like, oh yeah, here's a beer. Oh, sweet. It's like, oh shit. Excuse me, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this. Anyway, I got this beer. I already took a sip. Oh, I failed. Should I just give in? Just it's too late now. Stop. Pause. Whatever. Text the accountability buddy. Hey, dude, I kind of messed up. Please help. Okay, we good. We're on the line. It's all good. Or maybe you just ask them to text you maybe once an hour, just check in, hi, how you doing? Hi, how you doing? Or maybe you're living in an environment where you have people in your home that you can keep holding you accountable, or maybe you just want somebody there to acknowledge where you're going, the path that you're on. If that's the case, maybe make up a code word. Maybe you're battling in your head right now and you're really working on this path. Or maybe you're having a mental celebration. You're okay, I don't want to be interrupted here. Make up a code word so that way, if you enter the living room and your loving person here is sitting in the living room and you really want to be still and present with this little mental celebration that you have going on, just be hey, pinata, little celebration. Just kind of vocalize, agree on the word, of course, ahead of time. Communicate what your goals are, what you're working on. And so that way they don't have to ask you. You don't have to be too super vulnerable. This is kind of a boundary that you can hold. Just this is all you need to know. Anything on this side is mine and it's sacred. Anything on this side is yours. And I just need you to know that whatever you're doing over here needs to respect what's going on over here. This code word is that boundary. And you can continue that mental celebration wow, got your beads. Pinata. Yeah. I know that was a lot of information. There's a lot of different ways that this can look for you. But to dive deeper into the writing activity and look at how different steps could look. Okay, that comfortability. Let's go back to the diagnosis. That comfortability you're trying to meet. Wow, okay, I'm going to be at home sitting a lot more. I know that my feet are going to start getting uncomfortable throughout the day. So how can I create an environment so that way I can be more comfortable? What do I need within arm's reach? How can I strategically place an environment around me? So I need water. I need a pillow so I can elevate my feet when they get uncomfortable. I need a foam roller so that way I can place it under my back or whatever it looks like. Make sure that these items are close, or ask someone to help you bring them close. Maybe even make them look nice. Get a little basket for them, arrange them. That's a huge step. Huge. For what it could look like for PTSD, you could do an immersion. You know that seeing certain people in a certain colored shirt is really, really triggering for you. So you now ask people around you, please don't wear that shirt around me. That just makes me uncomfortable. Wow, okay, vocalizing that first of all is huge. Celebrate that. Use your beads if you got them. Whoa, I clarified what I need. I was vulnerable and communicated to someone that I'm uncomfortable. And then deeper into that, the immersion side of it. Okay, I really want to get over the shirt thing because I can't talk to the guy at King Soopers as a stranger. Please don't wear that shirt in public ever again. You know, that's weird. That's not going to happen. It's not realistic. Okay, so how can I step into this in a way that would make me feel more comfortable? By breaking that scariness around it. Okay, so have someone that you love. Maybe buy a similar color shirt. Don't necessarily jump right all into it. Just sit with them. Maybe play a game. Get used to that space, like, wow, okay, it's not the shirt. It's not the shirt. It's never been the shirt. See the person that you love embodying this space that might have been scary, that might have been very triggering. Soften this trigger for you. I know that this is a lot, and there's a lot of different avenues that you can take. So if you are needing any help creating an immersion, creating these stair steps, even maybe looking at the bigger picture and figuring out what that end goal, that light at the end of the tunnel looks like, please reach out to me. My DMs are always open on Instagram at Santa Sequoia. I am here for you. This is what I do. This is the path to TengDios. This is TengDios entirely. And this is for you. So it looks like I covered all of my notes and more. I want you to take something away from this today. Because I know that this was a lot. It could have been really triggering. What are you working towards right now? Not anything necessarily scary. But what is your end goal right now? Maybe you're watching this as soon as you woke up in the morning and your end goal is just to get dressed. Okay. In this moment, what are you doing as soon as you finish watching this video? What could support you in that task, that effort even? And what would it take to get comfortable with the idea if you fail? Just little do you know, or maybe you do know, failure is not the end all. Failure is just an opportunity to try again. All right, that's all I've got for you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please make sure to check out the description down below for the earrings. Reach out for any help that you may need. Order some of the TengDios bracelets or order a copy of TengDios entirely. So, live spicy. I'll see you on the other side. Bye.